Hey guys, my name's Chris and today I'm just taking a walk through suburbia. I brought the GoPro and the filming gear with me. I just had something on my mind and I want to run it past you guys. I want to see what you guys think, see if you feel the same way or if it makes you feel something or if it relates to you a little bit. So I had a friend say something to me recently and it really stuck in the back of my mind. So let me know if you can relate to this. I have never earned more money in my life, but I've never felt more broke. I'm definitely feeling that way a little bit myself right now. Do you guys relate to that? Essentially, I'm working 3 jobs right now. So I've got a full-time job working in the insurance sector. I am doing YouTube videos like this, and I'm out there driving on DoorDash and Uber Eats as a side hustle, working 3 jobs. And I've never earned more money in my life, sure, but I don't feel like I'm getting ahead. Is anyone else feeling that way as well? So I live in Australia and, you know, we're a great country. There's a lot of opportunity afforded to us. It's a good place to live. A little bit hot right now. We're in the middle of an Australian summer, so it's dry, it's hot. But things are expensive. The cost of living is insane right now. If you are, just put it in perspective, if you are just working one job and you're on the median income in Australia, $67,000 per year right now, you are living just above the poverty line. And it's just making me think the quality of life in Australia, it's dipping. 10 years ago, I was earning probably half of what I earn. I worked one job earning half of what I earn right now. And things just seemed easier to afford. I could go out and buy things. I wasn't stressing about groceries. I wasn't stressing about paying rent. It was just affordable to what you were earning back then. And I wasn't a high income earner or anything back then. Just working one job. I think I was on $40,000 a year a decade ago. So nothing special, nothing crazy. And things are affordable. I could do stuff. But now I'm working 3 jobs and things seem further and further out of reach. So I started my journey on YouTube and picking up a side hustle doing DoorDash and Uber Eats 3 years ago now. And the first year, I went all out. I was working 70 hours a week for a year. Working my full-time job, doing the side hustle, delivery driving, then plus doing the YouTube stuff on top. And the second year, I started to cut back down because I was like, dude, like I'm wasting so much time. I'm earning money, but I've got no time to myself. This is not sustainable. So I said, you know what? I'll try work just 60 hours a week. Just as an indicator for anyone overseas, 40 hours a week in Australia, that's full-time work. If you're doing more than 40 hours, you know, that's side hustling, that's extra miling, trying to make more money. But working 60 hours a week, is that really the Australian dream? Because it feels like now, one job is just not cutting it. Wages just aren't going up. The cost of living is skyrocketing. Groceries, out of control. You go to Coles, go to Woolworths, go to Aldi, whatever it might be, whichever way you can try to do your shopping and do it on a budget. It's just not happening on a budget anymore. Shopping bills, just groceries and household stuff, it's not splurging. It's costing hundreds of dollars a month, hundreds and hundreds of dollars per month, just to get by, just to stay fed. Now, there's something wrong with that. Housing, if you're paying rent right now, if you're paying your mortgage right now, a large chunk of what you earn is going across to just keeping a roof over your head. It doesn't feel like we're getting ahead. I definitely don't feel like I'm getting ahead. I'm feeling a struggle right now. My goal is to try and become a homeowner. And every year, housing prices are going up higher and higher and higher, which means a larger deposit required, or your loan limits from the bank, you know, it's starting to creep to the point where it's like, well, you can't get this loan. I saw a research piece and I think it's something like 10% of houses in Australia are affordable to buy for people on the median income. Only 10%, so 90% of housing in Australia is unaffordable to the average Australian. Something wrong there. That's not adding up. So it starts to go down the path there of, if an individual cannot get ahead in this country, cannot thrive, struggling to survive in Australia, well, then you need 2 individuals at least on the average. Now, I know my parents from their time. Dad was a bricklayer, and mum was just finishing up work, and she was becoming a stay-at-home mum to raise me and my brothers. And Dad, on a single income as a bricklayer, he managed to buy 2 hectares of land and a 2-bedroom house. And yeah, they paid their mortgage off for a while. I think it took them 10 years to pay the mortgage off or something like that, which is, you know, pretty good. But that same piece of land now, that same house, I could not afford that. There's no way. Even me and my partner working together, we could not afford that. We could not get the loan for it. It's valued over $1 million now. Granted, they sold it when they split up. They sold it for $400,000 about a decade ago. But now it's valued triple that. And housing across the country is increasing. It's going up higher and higher, becoming more and more unaffordable. So what are you supposed to do? If 2 people working a standard job can't get ahead anymore, what's the solution? Work more jobs? If 2 people working a job doesn't pay for a mortgage, well, you need 2 people working 2 jobs, 2 people working a full-time job and 1 person doing a second job. I'm just not sure where it ends. Like, how much time are we supposed to be dedicating to trying to survive, to try to get ahead, as opposed to actually living life? Running a bit short on breath. It's like 35 degrees right now in Australia. I'm up in Queensland. It's bloody hot in summer. But, you know, you got to go for a walk. You got to try stay fit in when you can, of course. Otherwise, you end up a couch potato, don't you? So if you want to get ahead, you need to spend more and more and more of your time working. Does it make sense? Was this the Australian dream that we all signed up for? I can't remember being told I'm going to be working 2 to 3 jobs when I'm in my 30s, when I was in school. That wasn't what I was told. That's not what I studied for. That's not what the narrative at the time. No, it's changed, and it's changing fast. And you know what? Some would say it's the government's fault. Government should fix this. Government's to blame for all this. Oh, the government are idiots. So there's people starving for food. There's people living in tents, working full-time jobs in the country. What does the government do? Well, they go spend $600 million for a football team in Papua New Guinea. $600 million overseas. Well, you think, okay, well, what if they can build more houses? And they promise, okay, we're going to work on building more houses. But then they go and spend $350 billion on nuclear submarines, a handful of nuclear submarines that we don't even have yet. As an idea, guys, $350 billion, if the Crown released land for the people of Australia to use, and then we put that money towards construction, it's going to build 1 million homes out of our taxpayer money. But, you know, like, is it taxpayer money, or are they just going to print more money to pay for them submarines? Who knows? Well, I know, they're printing money. So we are getting taxed, not only just from our wages, from GST, from excise taxes. We're getting taxed on inflation. That's the quiet tax. When governments print more money, the Australian dollar becomes worth less and less. And the harder you work, the less it's worth. So we're just not getting ahead here. There's an ancient Roman quote, "Give them circuses and bread and they'll never revolt." Well, I'll tell you what, it feels like a circus right now. It feels like a fucking circus, what's going on. But there are people who can't afford bread. Not saying, you know, let's revolt or anything like that, but the cracks are showing, the cracks are there. There's a problem. And this isn't just isolated to Australia. If you're overseas, if you're in America, UK, New Zealand, Canada, you're seeing the same thing. So are you earning more than you ever have before, but have never felt more broke? Is working 2 to 3 jobs the new norm that we're entering? Is that what it takes for a couple, 2 people, trying to make their way through life to succeed, to get ahead? And by get ahead, it's to get the Australian dream, just home ownership. People already in home ownership, you're getting absolutely throttled by your mortgages. The banks aren't losing money. No, they just keep raising interest rates to the point that they stay profitable. And you guys get slugged with it. Like, I will openly admit that I ate the red pill. I was like, cool, side hustle, grind, go for it, do 2 jobs, do 3 jobs, burn out 70 hours a week, burn out 60 hours a week. Next year, I want to target in 2025, man, I just want to work 50 hours a week. That's still doing 10 more hours per week than a full-time job, just to try get somewhere. And I ate that red pill, just grind, but is working 2 to 3 jobs, is that actually going to keep you ahead? Or is inflation just going to defeat you every time? Is the cost of housing going to defeat you every time for it? Is it even possible to stay ahead of the curve anymore? Or is it just trying to keep your head above water? I don't know, man. It's feeling off, something's wrong. When the majority of a country, when the majority of an economy, when the majority of people, humans, aren't thriving and are struggling to survive, something's wrong. It feels the rich are getting richer and the middle class is eroded now just to the poor. We've lost the middle class. So guys, what do you think? How does that sit with you? Are you earning more money than you ever have in your life, but you've never felt more broke? Leave it down below in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, because I'm feeling a certain way about it right now. I'm not thrilled, I'm not happy. It's frustrating. It's upsetting too. That's all for today, guys. That's my walk. That's my rant. A rant with Chris. Let me know what your thoughts are. How's your situation? Have you figured out the secret sauce to get through this? Let me know down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.